Hello, my people. Welcome to Story Haven TV. Today, I bring you a mysterious and emotional story, the story of Amaka, a 16-year-old girl who dared to cut down a sacred tree,
It's
a
coming down!
decision that
Run!
changed her life
Help us!
forever. What really happened after the tree fell? Was it bravery or a terrible mistake? Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. She dropped the book from her hand and jumped to her feet when the dry branch above her head snapped loudly. Her heart began to pound as dust fell from the ancient bark of the forbidden tree. The wind rose suddenly, swirling leaves around her feet as if the tree itself was warning her to leave. But Amaka did not run. She stared at the rough trunk, breathing fast, her fingers trembling, curiosity burning stronger than fear. People in the village has always spoken in hushed voices about the old tree that could never be cut down. For years, no one dared touch it. They said anyone who tried to cut it would meet strange misfortune. Crops would fall, sickness would come, fortunes would disappear. Yet no one ever knew exactly who suffered these fates. And that mystery made the story even more frightening. Amaka had grown up hearing those warnings. Since childhood, she has always asked questions. Mother, why can nobody cut the tree? She once asked, sitting beside the cooking fire. Her mother did not look at her because some things are not meant to be touched, she replied quietly. But what happens if someone tries? Her mother's voice grew firmer. Leave the tree alone, Amaka. Promise me. Amaka did not promise. Curiosity has already taken root inside her. Now she stood beneath the same tree, brushing dust from her dress. She had come only to sit and read, or so she told herself. But deep inside, she wanted to feel the mystery everyone feared. She slowly sat down again, opened her book, and tried to read. The wind calmed, the silence returned, then her eyes caught something unusual carved into the bark. She leaned closer. There, faint but clear, were the words, "Underneath hides the treasure." Amaka breath caught. "Treasure?" she whispered to herself. Her eyes widened with excitement. She quickly knelt and began brushing away dry leaves and soil with her hands. She searched carefully, moving around the base of the tree, but found nothing, only hard earth and thick roots. Her excitement faded into frustration. "Nothing? There is nothing," she muttered. The sun was already lowering when she finally stood up. Her hands were dirty, her dress stained. She stared once more at the carved walls, then turned and walked home slowly, her mind restless. That night, she could not sleep. What if it is real? She whispered to herself in the darkness. What if I did not dig deep enough? Her thoughts refused to rest. The next morning, she went to her best friend's house. Her friend opened the door, surprised. "Amaka, you look troubled." "I need a shovel," Amaka said quickly. "A shovel? For what?" Amaka hesitated, then spoke in a low voice. "The tree." Her friend stepped back immediately. "No, no, Amaka, people don't go near that tree." "I saw something," Amaka insisted. "Words carved on it. It says treasures is underneath." Her friend shook her head nervously. "That tree brings misfortune. Or maybe," Amaka said, eyes shining, "it hides something important." Her friend studied her face, then sighed. "You will not rest until you try, will you?" Amaka shook her head. After a long silence, her friend handed her the shovel. "Be careful." Amaka smiled faintly. "Thank you." By midday, she returned to the tree. The forest felt quieter than usual, almost watchful. She tightened her grip on the shovel and began to dig. One strike, two strikes, three strikes. The ground was harder than she expected, but she did not stop. Sweat formed on her forehead. Her arms ached, yet determination pushed her forward. "I must find it," she whispered between breaths. Suddenly, a voice shouted behind her, "Stop!" Amaka froze. She turned slowly and saw one of the village chiefs staring at her in shock and anger. What are you doing? He demanded. Amaka swallowed. I I was only, you dare dig around the sacred tree? His voice thundered with disbelief. Do you know what the tree means to the village? Amaka lowered her head but did not drop the shovel. The chief shook his head in disappointment. This is a grave offense. I saw an inscription, Amaka said softly. It spoke of treasure. Treasure? The chief repeatedly sharply. The only treasure here is the protection of this village. He turned away. The king must hear of this. Fear flickered in Amaka's chest as the chief walked away quickly. But she did not leave. Instead, she looked back at the half-dug earth and continued digging. Faster now, desperation rising within her. The soil loosened. Thick roots appeared, twisting through the ground like ancient veins. She dug around them carefully, searching, hoping. Nothing, only roots. Her breathing grew heavy. Where is it? She whispered. Footsteps approached again, many footsteps. Voices murmured. The king and several villagers were coming. Amaka looked at the hole she had dug, then at the tree towering above her. Her hands trembled, but her eyes remained stubborn. She found nothing. Yet something inside her refused to give up. As the king and the others drew closer, Amaka wiped her hands slowly and looked once more at the deep roots beneath the tree. And deep in her heart, she decided she would return again. Amaka tightened her grip on the shovel, breathing hard, her chest rising and falling as the sounds of hurried footsteps grew louder behind her. She turned, fear flashing across her face, just as the ground beneath the ancient tree trembled. A deep cracking sound echoed through the forest. Amaka, stop! Someone shouted. But before she could move, the old tree ground like a living thing. The earth shook, then suddenly, with a loud crashing roar, the tree fell. Dust rose everywhere. Birds scattered into the sky. Silence followed. Amaka stumbled backward, her hands shaking violently, her heart pounding so hard she could hear it in her ears. At that same moment, the king and several villagers rushed into the clearing. What has happened here? The king demanded, his voice filled with shock. No one answered immediately. Nkechi pushed through the crowd, tears already streaming down her face. Amaka, I warned you. I told you not to touch the tree, she cried. Amaka could not speak. Her lips trembled. Her eyes moved slowly from the fallen tree to the faces staring at her with fear, anger, and confusion. The chief stepped forward, his voice heavy. The sacred tree has fallen. Murmurs spreading through the villagers. This has never happened. What does it mean? Is this the misfortune they spoke about? The king raised his hands for silence. Take the girl, he ordered. Two guards stepped forward and gently but firmly held Amaka by the arms. She did not resist. Her body felt weak, her mind spinning. Nkechi cried louder, please, do not hurt her. She did not mean to. But the villagers were already whispering in fear. Everyone was confused. The fallen tree lay across the ground like a broken guardian. The king looked troubled. He turned to the chief. Send for the chief priest. This matter is beyond us. Amaka was led away as the villagers stared, dust still floating in the air. Not long after, the king consulted the chief priest in the shrine. The old priest listened silently, his face grave. When the king finished speaking, the priest closed his eyes and spoke slowly. Since the sacred tree has fallen, mysterious things will begin to happen across the village. Oh. The king frowned. What must be done? The priest replied, the girl must seek forgiveness from the tree. Only then may peace return. Meanwhile, word had already spread across the village. Anger rose among the people. Most of them marched to Amaka's house, where her mother and her two younger brothers were resting inside. Suddenly, loud shouting filled the air. Come out! Your daughter has brought trouble upon us. Her mother rushed outside, confused and frightened. What is happening? Where is Amaka? The village the villagers began throwing stones at her house. One struck the wall, another hit the door. Her younger brothers cried in fear. Stop, please stop. Her mother begged, shielding the boys. They poured dirt toward them and cursed loudly. Your family has angered the spirits. You must answer for this. Amaka's mother fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. My daughter meant no harm. Please. One of the little boys sobbed, clutching her wrapper. Mama, what has Amaka done? He cried. The villagers did not listen. They dragged their family towards the square where Amaka was being held. As soon as her mother saw her, she ran forward and grabbed her tightly. Amaka, she cried, what have you done, my child? Amaka's tears finally fell. Mama, I only wanted to know the truth, she whispered. Her brothers clung to her, crying. Fear filled her heart like never before. The king then arrived with the chief priest. Silence fell across the crowd. The king spoke. What must be done? The chief priest looked at Amaka carefully, then said, she must beg the tree for forgiveness. She has 10 days to redeem herself. The villagers murmured, and her family, the king asked. They will remain under the king's protection until the days are complete, the priest replied. Amaka trembled. 10 days, she whispered. The king looked at her. Use them wisely. Days passed slowly. Fear spread across the village. Strange whispers were heard at night. Doors creaked, dogs barked at nothing. People spoke in worried tones. Amaka avoided everyone. Her heart carried guilt and confusion. On the first day, Amaka returned to the place where the tree had fallen. The ground was still disturbed, roots exposed like secrets pulled from the earth. She stood there quietly. I am sorry, she whispered to the fallen tree. The wind moved gently. No answer came. Her heart remained heavy. She had found nothing. But deep inside, something refused to let go. And in her heart, she decided she would come back again. If you want to know what happened next, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment for part 2.